Thank you, Madam President. Members, I want to read some of the text to you. It says, without raising taxes, and in order to pay for education, health care, roads, bridges, and other strategic transportation projects.
Senator Sonnenberg, you're on the wrong bill.
Actually, I'm not, Madam President. I'm trying to draw the correlation between all three.
The language you're reading is on the other bill.
Actually, it's not, Madam President.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. And if I can continue, it says the state be authorized to retain and spend all state revenues in excess of the constitutional limitation state fiscal year spending for the next 5 fiscal years. And the reason, Madam President, you got confused is because that came from Referendum C back in 2005. As you see the distinct difference, or maybe not see the distinct difference, you have to ask your questions. Why, Madam President, would we choose to go down this road when we already passed Ref C? And for 5 years, we gathered all that money and spent it on education and highways. Or did we? Matter of fact, highways, if you remember, in 2009, we ran a bill called Faster, in which we raised fees and taxes for highway infrastructure because we were not taking the money from Ref C the way we promised the voters of Colorado. And we did not put it into transportation. We did not put it in education. And now we have a negative factor because, or a budget stabilization factor, because we did not continue down the path that we said with those dollars from Ref C. So why would the public believe us? Why would we as legislators believe that the legislature next year or the year after that would choose to spend this money where you said it would be spent? Madam President, we wonder how these get changed, but if you remember, our Joint Budget Committee passes a budget, and then they also pass a set of bills along with that budget where they have to change things in statute to make sure all of these puzzle pieces fit together. And oftentimes that means changing the reserve, that means changing what we give to highways, what we give to education. What we currently require in statute gets changed, and we have done that since 2005. Madam President, as we move forward on this bill and try and figure out if there is a way to convince the general public that we mean what we say, that we will spend the money what we tell them in statute that we will spend the money for, will they still vote for it? Can they believe us? We have proven that they can't. We have proven that we will misspend every dime of their money that we give, that they give us. And yet we want to go back to them and say, I hope you have a short memory because Referendum C will be different this time. It'll be different because we promise We're going to put it in fixing your roads. We're going to put it in education. We're going to put it in a number of those things that we have here. Please trust us. Believe us. We know what's best for you. And we're willing to keep your money and spend it so we can do those things that we know are more important for you. Members, I tried to highlight the difference or the same things that we are reading between what happened 14 years ago and what is happening now. And we wonder why we continue to have these same arguments over and over and over again. Members, $1 billion surplus this year, $1 billion surplus last year, and yet we want to ask the voters to keep more of their money to spend on what? I know what this says we're going to spend it on. But what do we have, or what does this legislature have in its back pocket that it truly is going to spend that money on? Because we have proven that we will not spend it on what we tell the voters we're going to spend it on. If there's any doubt, go back and look at Ref C. Look how we spent that money from Ref C. Look why we had to run a bill in 2009, and I say I voted against it, to raise your faster fees and taxes for highway funding when we passed Ref C 4 years earlier that was supposed to help that was supposed to take care of that. Madam President, I appreciate you the time this morning to speak, or this afternoon to speak on this, but this truly is important, and I thank you for your indulgence as I tried to verify which bill and specify which language was coming from which bill and which referendum. So thank you for that. And know, Madam President, that the language is so close to the same, the voters will need to understand, can they or can they not trust us with the new dollars of theirs they're giving us? Thank you, Madam President. I ask for a no vote.